Okay, hello everyone, I'm Kinnin11 again, and we're gonna do Kirby Superstar Ultra, which is a DS remake of the original SNES classic Kirby Superstar. There are a lot of different things, and I'm not gonna mention them because I can do that for hours. And we're just gonna go straight in. So are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, in 3, 2, 1, go. So right off the bat, we start off in Spring Breeze, which is the tutorial game mode of this game. The game is made up out of, I think 11 different game modes off the top of my head. It's actually pretty funny because yesterday someone found completely different route for Spring Breeze and I haven't had time to practice it, so I'm very sorry for Profane Glitch, but I'm not gonna do it. It's not gonna work out. So I'm just gonna hold to old struts. And we got nice RNG here with him jumping forward. So we start off with the beam ability, and it does some really nice things. So the only real ability that we can use easily in this part. And we got our first boss as well. The good old-fashioned Wispy Woods. So I waited there a little bit, so I instantly grab a star that spawns. And then we get a Kirby dance. Oh yeah. So now we're done with Beam, and we're gonna switch to Fighter. The only real reason we're switching to Fighter is to skip bouncing a couple of times. Because if you fall down from too high a height, you will bounce, and that loses a bit of time. And then we're switching to Fire. A thing about this game is you can summon helpers. Helpers are CPU, in this case, CPU-controlled allies who will walk around and do things for you. In this case, I'm using it to store fire, so I can use Crash to quickly destroy this boss. And we have time for a donation real quick.
And we have one, because Mr. Mean Mustache donated €2 saying, "I'm broke as heck, but take my last PayPal money for that world record hype. Good game, Cruel." Thank you so much for your donation.
So with Fire, we can do this awesome burning attack, which is pretty fast. To actually go up with it, I actually have to do a jump input right before it, which is kind of annoying. Okay, let's see if we... No. Couldn't get a quick kill here. If I positioned correctly, you can kill Kreko Jr. a little bit quicker than usual. But it wasn't fast enough to set that up. No. Luckily for Kreko, however, the quick kill range is a lot easier to hit. And there we go, that was Kreko. That attack is pretty strong. You only really see it in Spring Breeze because it's one of the few places we actually use fire. And now we're gonna fight against DDD because DDD stole all of the food of Dreamland, and that's not a good thing. So DDD is kind of RNG, so let's see if we get lucky. Well, we got somewhat lucky. It was a pretty good DDD. Even though this is BSG 7 with extra cutscenes, we don't like cutscenes in this game because it's long. So I'm soft resetting at every cutscene to skip it. Just about every game mode has their ending cutscene, and we'll be skipping all but one of them because we literally cannot skip it.
Still one cutscene. Something.
Exactly. So here, coming up here, we have the infamous mix. Mixing is an integral part of most Kirby games. I'll quickly do it and then explain what I'm doing. Damn it, I messed up. I can explain during it, actually. So, what I'm doing is I'm sucking up 2 different enemies, and that gives me the mix ability. Whenever I swallow, during the mix ability, nice. We will go through a reel, and where we start on that reel is determined by which enemies we suck up. And The reel itself, however, is completely set. So by learning what enemies combine into what part on the reel, we can quickly just get any ability we want. And the window for that is about 4 frames. So it's pretty easy to learn. So here we're gonna grab an invincibility candy. So I mixed for Jet. Jet is probably one of the most overpowered abilities in this game. It is fast and it deals a lot of damage to bosses. What I'll mostly be using is air dashes to move around. And those require a little bit of timing on the B presses. You could mash through them, but it's a little inconsistent and hard on your thumb. Another thing we can do with Jet is charge up and let go to get those nice blue things coming out of yourself at the end of it. That is our main damage source for Jet, because it deals a lot of damage to bosses. And now we got an auto-scroller, so we just play around a little. Ow. It's actually bad getting hit here, because whenever you get hit, there is a random chance of you losing your ability. It's not like in Amazing Mirror where you lose it guaranteed. Here it's random. And losing my ability there would mean that I lost time on an auto-scroller, which is the worst nightmare of any speedrunner. So this is the power of the Jet Cracker, those blue things coming out. And we go on to the next part. So at the end of every game in Dynablade, there is a cannon minigame. It's just mash A to get to 7. If you really want more points, you try to get the most charge out of it, but we're not doing a point run. Cacao Caves is a little annoying. It's pretty technical and you need to be aware of what you're doing. We have a time for donation though.
And we have a donation. Why Not July donated $5 and he said, Boyo! Boyo! Thank you so much for your donation.
Oh, no. I'm getting a little bit wrecked here. Get on the catapult. There's not really much going on that I need to explain, really. One thing that I might as well explain is when I'm doing air dashes, I'm either holding up, down, or nothing. When I hold up, I will remain on the same height. When I'm holding down, at the end of the dash, I will fall down a little bit. I'll mostly be holding up though, since staying on the same height the whole time is pretty nice. If I actually do perfect inputs, I can actually rise with 1 pixel every single air dash, but I'm not good enough to do that right now. Oops. Oh, yeah. Another candy. So the nice thing about invincibility candies is not only that they give you invincibility, but also that they give you a nice speed boost, which means that getting them is just really useful. And it's actually a thing that you can mix for, so a little later on in this level I will be mixing for a candy, and we'll see if I can get it.
Kinnin, can I have a little moment?
No.
Okay. Well, okay.
Ah, I messed up. So I was one off there. You can get a candy mix here to quickly make these bosses die a lot quicker, but we sadly have to do it normally. You can actually skip doing these bosses in the original SNES game, but this game actually has ceilings, so you can't do that. Now you have a moment.
I'm going to take the moment anyway, because I have to rectify this. I have been informed that I mispronounced the name and mispronounced the gender, for which I'm completely sorry. That was my bad. It's Why Not Julie, and she donated €5. So sorry.
So next up we have the hardest boss in the entire game. I really need to prepare for this, so keep your eyes open. These threats are high tier. And we got it! Nice! I was actually lying, it's a really easy boss to do. It's just 2 inputs and I'm done. You can grab certain objects with Jet, and it deals a lot of damage if you have full charge, so I like to joke about it. So next up we have Gourmet Race, or Gourmet Race as I like to call it. The weird thing about Gourmet Race is, for some reason, when you're running, you have about the same speed as having an invincibility candy. But the moment you jump, you will lose all of that speed, and you will go like normal jumping speed. Same goes for slides and everything. So you want to try and be on the ground for as long as you can. Also good music. However, level 2 is the better music, objectively. Everyone who says otherwise is wrong. Fight me. So, in Gourmet Race, you're basically just racing against DDD to try and get the most food as possible. But DDD is kind of slow, so you can just grab everything before he gets there. And just end up with way too much food. And anyways, if you win, you get like 30 extra points, so he will never be able to beat you. Unless you really, really want him to beat you. So in this level we get an ability. We're gonna choose Wing instead of Jet, because Wing has great vertical movement because of this trick. There we go. So what I just did there was called dive cancelling. When I do down B, I do a certain dive attack, and at the start of the dive attack, I go up a little bit. And by pressing A almost at the same time, I cancel going down in that up animation. So I can rise really quickly through cancelling my dives. And what I do is I literally just mash B and A at the same time. It's not very hard. So Gourmet Race is one of the few that doesn't have a cutscene. And we're gonna quickly go to the Great Cave Offensive. Now, the Great Cave Offensive is annoying to go through. The route is pretty interesting, but as a runner, I just found it a slog. For the 100% definition, we need to collect all of these treasures, which are 60. You can see that on the counter on the second screen. So, a lot of these treasures have interesting puzzles and stuff like that. Some of them will cheese, some of them will have to do the intended way. But there's a lot of them, and they really break the flow of the game. And here we're gonna go back to Wing. Mostly because it's the only quick ability we really have here. And there is some vertical movement coming up. which is pretty useful. Again, dive cancels there. I did that one a little slower so I can gain height quicker and be a little bit more consistent with my height. So here I'm trying to avoid breaking that middle block, because that'll make the chest fall down into the lava and disappear. And that would make me reload the entire room again, which costs a bit of time. And we don't want that. There we go. That was a little sloppy, but it worked out. So you're supposed to go all the way to the right on the top side here, but the game designers weren't too smart in their placement of blocks. So we can just break that block from the inside with wing, which makes it really easy. And one-tile gaps are the worst. Okay, time for a mid-boss fight. And that was the mid-boss fight. Hard stuff. Okay, I got a little unlucky with the plasma wisp here, so I have to wait before I can go down. A thing you might notice when I'm going through these little platforms is that I'm holding the shield button. You hear this small click when I go down. This skips a little animation of Kirby like going down a little bit. Saves it like a frame or two. It's not that amazing, but over the course of the run it does add up. Oh, whoa, okay. My inputs got eaten. That's new, and that's really bad, because that means I start all the way at the start. Yeah, at least I get to keep this chest. Well, now you get to see a little bit of any percent, I guess. That was a silly mistake. That usually doesn't happen. Yep. It's a good thing I grinded out any percent in the past. Means that I know what to do. So, and we're back in this room. Let's hope we don't mess up the strat again. There we go, that was what's supposed to happen. So you can see on the second screen now that there's a little golden coin on the level I'm at. That means that I've collected all the treasures in this area. So we're gonna move to the boss and then the next area. And the boss is called Fatty Will. He gave me good RNG. There we go. So here you're supposed to grab the minecart, but the minecart is slow because the jet is really fast. So we just skip it. That was a near perfect part skip. Nice. This is one of the more devious treasures. They're a little bit harder to find if you're not paying enough attention. Yes. There are a lot of joke treasures in this game mode, one of the biggest jokes is coming up. Which is this one, which is also really annoying, because I'm not careful, I'm gonna lose half a minute. It is a saucepan! Such an amazing treasure, isn't it? Some brass knuckles. Some knuckles. So this is a nice little reference. We're gonna pick up the dome fossil. And the helix fossil. Sorry, we have to pick up both. We can't leave one of them. I messed up the strat. That's fine. So again, just movement. There's honestly not that much to explain going on anymore. So for this treasure, you can, if I mash A, for some reason that'll allow me to grab the treasure earlier. If I don't do that, I will bonk all the way to the top of that little alcove. It's kind of weird. Yeah, I messed up cycles probably. Yeah, I need to wait. If I went instantly there, I would be going down a little bit, and that would make this part kind of annoying. I messed it up myself anyways. Great. So this treasure casually is pretty easy to miss, because there are strong currents that'll just make you go past it. So whenever you're jetting, for some reason, when you go into blocks, and I didn't get it, nice! When you go into blocks, for some reason, sometimes you just randomly bonk off of them, even though they're breakable blocks. It kind of happens when you hit them on the wrong place, on the wrong pixel, but it happens way too often, and it's very annoying. So here we get the phone from The Amazing Mirror, which I played earlier. Charge up. When I'm charging up, I can either jump or press shield to store my charge and use it again later. It's a pretty useful little thing to do. So again, I got all the treasures, so we're gonna go to the boss, which is a pretty cool boss. It is an RPG boss. Which means RNG!
Yay, RNG!
So these bosses can attack before I do, and when they're like in their little box right now, I won't be able to hit them, but I got perfect RNG, so that's nice. Woo, RNG. These bosses are also one of the main reasons why I'm playing in Japanese right now, because for some reason on the Japanese version, the text speed is really, really fast compared to English version. In the end, it over the entirety of 100%, it saves about 2 minutes and 17 seconds. Just because of text speed. Quite often, the amount of characters used in Japanese are actually more than the English version, so it's just all text speed, which is weird. So this is Tower. Tower is a pretty interesting place because there are many ways to go into it, and thus many ways to ride it out. There's actually a very interesting task route that I've been playing around with in my mind a lot, but I haven't done it yet. So we're gonna go right side first with Jet, and we'll return later for the left side. Oh wow, that was horrible. So in this mid-boss fight, I'm trying my best not to hit that bomb block in the middle. So that'll make the chest disappear, and I need that chest. Also no longer need, well, I mean I no longer need it, but it's nice to have hammer right now for later on. Eh. So people who've seen KSS runs might already see like a really big difference in routes right now. That is simply because a certain trick that works in KSS doesn't work in KSSU, so we sadly can't use that. So for this treasure I need to be a little bit fast, and then hold the shield button to not get damaged. So the only reason why we even got hammer to begin with is to hit this little peg, so we can go down into the basement, and that's all we needed hammer for, so I'm just gonna drop it. Bye, hammer. Yep. This is a very, very long elevator. There's even 2 of them. It's a nice moment to take a sip. So here we have fire again for just a little bit. So we can hopefully quickly kill this guy. Jump, jump, jump. No! Damn. He gave me mediocre RNG, but that's fine. So we're gonna help her our fire, because Burning Leo can do the impossible. He can breathe fire underwater. Beat that, Superman. So we got one more treasure to do in the basement, and then we're done here. And since the elevator is so unbelievably long, I am just going to kill myself. So we start at the start of tower. And now we're gonna perform another mix, because mixing is fun. And that was too early. There we go, second try. So we'll be doing the left side with wing. That's because there's a lot of vertical movement coming up. And if wing is any good at anything, it's vertical movement. Getting hit here is actually fine. It's nice to have a little bit of low health here. So this is the sleeper room. If you get hit by any of these weird pedestals, you will get sleep and lose your ability. But for some reason, helpers don't have the sleep ability. They can never sleep, which is kind of sad. So I just help her to play it safe. Okay, that's too much damage now. That is way too much damage. This might get close now. Yeah, that's really bad because I need to die 3rd time anyways. I only have 1 life left. I think I'll grab a tomato a little later on, that I usually skip. So now we help her our wing that we so we can solve a puzzle a little later on. Okay, let's hope we get through this room fine. Okay, good, nice. So there's a Mexican tomato here. And we kiss our little bird. So I went into the boss room right now. I'll explain later why I went in there. It is a very useful little thing. So one of the reasons why we needed stone is for this next chest. Because there's really strong water currents here pushing you up, so you can only really go down with it here with stone. There are other stones around here, but it's nice to just quickly grab this. Because we're gonna do some more shenanigans. So the reason we needed Wing is because Wing can cut through these ropes, and then we need Stone to hit that peg. And we're gonna go up here. Oh, kind of messing up. Just. And now we're gonna kill ourselves again. So the reason why I went into the boss fight is to set a flag, so I spawned back right into the boss fight room, which is useful. So we can just quickly warp back here and go fight against Chameleon Arm, who is, by the way, a different color every time you fight him. And with Ninja we make short work of him. That was really late on my part. Oh my god. So in these rooms, I need to be, this room, I need to be fast to go up. Or else, whoa, okay, I thought I heard the button go. That's the sound I needed. That was a little embarrassing. So if I wasn't fast enough, that stone thing would have closed. So in this room, the gimmick is that you need to find the door by lighting the candles, but I already know where the door is, so I can just quickly enter and grab the treasure. So now we have collected all of the treasures in the tower, and we've beaten the boss already. Getting hit there is actually intended. So we grab Jet, and then we leave the tower again, and go on to the next area. Again, with a minecart section that we're gonna skip. Because who needs minecarts? So this area is called the Garden. It's a pretty nice place. This is a little bit of an annoying chest to get with all those enemies flying around, but if you know where to jump and press the buttons right, you won't get hit, but I did because I'm bad. There we go. That is a lot hard. Well, it's easier than okay. In my childhood, I didn't know that you could press down to push your jet down. So it basically becomes a frame perfect trick at that point. So as a kid, I was trying to do a frame perfect trick already. That was pretty cool. Felt like an idiot when I learned that you can just press down. So this game does like to rehash their bosses. That was Bugsy again. Bugsy is a little annoying, but I can deal with him. Ah, damn, too low. What? What? Okay. I did not think I was gonna get hit there. Oops. Well, losing Jet there is not that amazingly bad. There is another Jet coming up in a little bit. And then we go back to the start of Garden. The game is nice in giving us stars to go back to the start. And actually spawns us on the left door. So that's why we went right first. I'm just gonna run a little bit. And get our free jet. So this is another one that's really devious. Just need to know that you can go down here. I know a lot of people didn't know that chest was there. Also, it's almost the season, so have a Christmas tree.
Tis the season.
That's almost the season. Oh, missed it.
Always Christmas.
So in this area there's a lot of one-tile gaps, and one-tile gaps are annoying, and I went into the door too early. Great, I'm going too fast. So that was a DK barrel. And here we have the Lamia skill. In English it's actually translated as the Ramia skill, which is pretty funny. Let's see if we can get into this one talk. Yes, we got into that one talk in one go. It's really annoying to get in that one for some reason. So whenever I get it, I get a little bit hyped about it. Oops. So for this treasure we need a helper. The nice thing about Wheelie Helper is we can sit on him and go fast. And of course we get the tire as our treasure from it. Never get tired of it. Sorry if these puns will rubber you off the wrong way. I do like some puns. They're really good. So we're done with the left side of garden now, and we only have 2 more treasures left, so they can only be in the middle. Here we're gonna need to cut some wires, so we need to grab cutter. We're gonna bring Wheelie along because there's a pretty nice trick we can do coming up. Ah, damn it, I messed it up. There we go. That is not intended. Nope. Yes. I am very sure that it's not intended. So now we are gonna grab the final treasure, which is the Triforce, of course. We're gonna sell that to Ganon. Link doesn't need it. Ganon pays way more.
Well, I guess that one can be put to a good cause.
Exactly. So this is Wham Bam Rock. Wheel isn't actually the best ability to use here, but it's our only option for now. Until we can grab stone, but I messed up because I'm good. So we have to do it like that. Also, explosions. I'm sorry, headphone users. There are like 3 or 4 instances in this game where explosions, for some reason, are really loud, and that was one of them. So now we're done with Great Cave Offensive, and we can just go to the end. And there's a star waiting for us. And a very long cutscene, so we're gonna skip that, because screw very long cutscenes, they're horrible. And then we're gonna go to Revenge of Meta Knight. Now again, I'm playing in Japanese, and I already talked about the text speed. There is a lot of text in this game mode alone. The difference in text speed saves a minute in this game mode alone, which is crazy. Now, of course, this wouldn't be Kirby Superstar Ultra if we didn't mix for Jet right at the start. And we're gonna keep Jet until the very end of this level, or this game mode. So the story of this game mode is that Meta Knight has a giant ship, an airship, and he wants to end the lazy lifestyle of Dreamland. I don't know how he wants to do that by having a giant ship. I don't know. This boss I don't need to kill at all. It's actually slower to kill him because there's some lag frames involved whenever you kill bosses. So we just skip killing him. And we just wait So we've been knocked off the halberd, and we're gonna try and find ourselves a way back up. That was a good fight. Good RNG. So here is an example of me holding down when jetting. It's really nice because you can just keep the same pace horizontally while dropping vertically. Now the thing about this game mode is that it really likes its auto-scrollers. So here's the first one. Enjoy. I like to just tap along with the rhythm. Ouch. And that's that auto-scroller. So now we're gonna get some bosses. Well, a boss. And I was too early. That's amazing. And it's the lovely Wispy Woods again. Everyone loves the Wispy Woods, except for Kirby. Kirby hates forests. There we go. That wasn't the best boss fight. I got some bad RNG on the puffs. So now we are trying to go back up the halberd, but its amazing amount of guns basically just shoot us down. So we have to find another way up. Oh my god. So these techs can steal your ability and run away with it. It's very annoying. They're horrible enemies to deal with sometimes. I got lucky that I instantly saw it coming. Now we have to fight against Twin Bonkers. Got lucky on the RNG. Got really lucky on the RNG, actually. That is very rare for that to happen. That's very nice. This is a little hallway that most casual players actually don't know about. They go around for a long time. It's a pretty cool thing. So a while back we helped Dynablade with her kids, and not by pushing them off a cliff, but by helping them to learn to fly. And now Dynablade comes to help us get on the ship. Sadly, Meta Knight doesn't like birds, so Halberd gets shot. Dynablade gets shot down. Animal abuse. Someone called PETA. So one of the gimmicks in this game mode is there's a timer running on the second screen. When that runs out, I basically just die. And it has never happened in the speedrun, obviously. It's very rare for that to happen. The game actually does keep track of how fast you do this in a high score little thing, the best time. But we don't really pay attention to that much. More elevator shenanigans. Ah, damn. I didn't shield in time. So now the crewmen of the Halberd have let us in front of main cannon number 2, which is a reference to the original game where it was called combo cannon. And I messed up the strat. Great. You can grab that bomb for an easy one-hit kill. But I messed up, so I have to do baby strats now. Hope you enjoyed that. So now slowly the halberd is starting to get some damage, which is nice, because we don't like the halberd. And that was improvised movement, but it looked good. So in this stage there's some winds blowing to the right, you can see that by the little clouds. It doesn't really affect me much, but makes things go a little faster or slower. And bosses are quite easy to beat with Jet. So for some reason beating that boss exploded the entire right wing of the halberd. I don't know how that happened. Call it bad construction, really. So now we're gonna try and wreak havoc on the rest of the halberd again. So here's a little trick that I like doing. I call it ledge tricking. You just saw it. It was really quick. Whenever you run off a ledge, like this, and then press B at the right moment, for some reason you can just do an air dash off of it rather than going into the charging animation. And again, this game mode likes its auto-scrollers. So here's another one! As a little joke, I try to destroy all the breakable blocks here. Or else it's not true 100%. And we managed to break all of them, so... I feel very good, because this run is now no longer invalid. Okay, that was not very good. Damn, I'm getting some bad RNG. So this is Heavy Lobster. This time we do have to kill him. Now the explosion of Heavy Lobster destroys the other wing of the halberd. And now they're all but sinking at this point. We're just gonna fall down here. Not a very interesting room. It's kind of sad that I'm playing in Japanese because a lot of these little text boxes are pretty funny in what they're saying. I used to know them all by heart, but it's been too long since I've seen the English version. So here we go around to the right to clear some rubble so we can go down here. Okay. So this game mode has auto-scrollers, but it wouldn't be complete without a cycle-based boss. So here's a cycle-based boss. What I'm trying to do is this. Directing the laser into that giant diamond thing. I cannot hurt the diamond thing in any other way. You can actually destroy the little cannon on the bottom, but it takes forever, especially with Jet, and I was too slow. That's bad. That was not very good. I tried to speed up a cycle, but I made it too fast. So I got like 2 extra cycles because of it. And now, because we haven't had enough auto-scrollers, another auto-scroller! Woo! I mean, it's almost a cutscene. Yeah, but it's too much of a hassle for this little area. At the end, the auto-scrolling goes really fast, so sometimes you just can't break them all in time. I would rather not lose time. We did get actually all the breakable blocks, so that's nice. So here we get a Meta Knight fight. So because we destroyed the reactor, the halberd is going to sink now, so everyone is leaving, except for Meta Knight. So Meta Knight will take care of us once and for all. Of course Meta Knight wants to fight us with a sword, but why bring a sword to a jet fight? I'm getting great RNG here. Ow. Ow. Oh wow, that should have killed him already. I am not playing well. There we go. That was a really bad fight. So as a final send-off, the game gives us what is basically the final auto-scroller. There's not much that can go wrong here, except for me messing up 3 presses. This is 1. This is 2. And this is the 3rd press. We got it. Okay. And Kirby never left the ship.
Dun, dun, dun.
So next up is, woo, no, not that again. Next up is the game mode called Milky Wishes, which is one of my favorite game modes to do. In Milky Wishes, you can no longer inhale enemies to get their abilities. Instead, you have to collect 19 different deluxe copy abilities that you can use through the touchscreen to select. And we go to this one first because this one has jet, so we now have permanent jet, basically. Now the definition of 100% calls us to collect every single one of these deluxe copy abilities. In any percent we actually only collect 2. 1 for movement and 1 for bosses. That was bad. So we lost wheel there, but we're not really using wheel, so it's all good. Especially because we're grabbing wing here. Now on the second screen you can see 3 orange dots. That means that I've collected all the different copy abilities on this planet. I messed up. I keep messing up this fight lately, it's very annoying. There's a very quick and easy way of killing him, but I'm trying to be too fast. Now this planet, a lot of people had trouble with finding because it's a star rather than an actual planet. And it's also named question mark, question mark, question mark. You don't know what it is. And it gives us copy. Copy is a very interesting ability. It was made up literally for this game mode. And it's the same thing as Kirby's normal inhale, but because that is turned off in this game mode, it actually becomes a decently useful ability, I guess. So in Cavius it's a little bit of a mid-boss rush. So this is the best strat we use with copy. It's only also the only strat. We copy the hammer from Bonkers, and it's pretty cool. And hammer will be used a lot during this run as a way of killing bosses quickly, because, well, look at this. I just one-shot that boss with one attack. That is the strength of hammer. So here's a nice little invincibility candy. Now, with invincibility candies, you can, if you stand inside normal enemies and mid-bosses, you will do damage to them. But sadly, that doesn't work on normal bosses. They don't take damage from invincibility candies. So we actually have to kill these guys the normal way. And we got the quick kill. That's nice. Also, that was another one of those explosions I was talking about. Sorry, headphone users, I did not warn you. I have failed you all.
Not like game audio is that loud.
No, then again. I think it's loud.
Your file server.
So a little bit about the story of this game mode. The Sun and Moon, for some reason, have started fighting. I have no idea why they would start fighting. Exactly. So, a little guy called Marx comes up to us and tells us we have to collect the power from the planets around us, so we can summon the great wishing machine called Nova to wish the Sun and the Moon to stop fighting. That is the story of this game mode. So here's a little bit of a maze of different mid-bosses you can fight. We only fight 2 though. This one, so we can get Plasma. Now Plasma is one of the main abilities used in the original SNES game for damage. In this game, however, it's been heavily nerfed. It takes more inputs and deals less damage, so it's simply not an ability worth using against bosses, especially not with hammer around. And I'm messing up this fight because I don't get this RNG often. Now you might notice that whenever I'm grabbing these little stars, I'm doing a little action before grabbing it. That is to avoid me bouncing on the ground. It saves about half a second every time I do it. So this is Hotbeat, also called the Destroyer of Runs. You can see why. There's a lot of lava around here, and lava hurts. Luckily, we can also use the lava to do a little bit of a damage boost here. You're supposed to go up and grab an invincibility candy to go up here, but you can skip that and simply do a damage boost. There's actually also a candy mix you can do here, but I don't do that because I'm not that good at that specific mix. So now we have candy to quickly go through this area. This is another one of the copy abilities I had a lot of trouble with finding as a kid. So here we have another boss. And this, like I said, this game likes to reuse its bosses, so it's Chameleon Arm again. There's actually a pretty nice damage boost strat we do here to skip animation. Saves a little bit of time. So next up we have the obligatory water level. Yay! So this is a pretty slow and boring level because Kirby swims really, really, really slowly.
You're not swimming.
I would like to be Michael Phelps here rather than Kirby, to be honest. Might go a little faster. Parasol's cool though. It's a nice and swaggy ability. God damn. I used to actually do this with wheels rather than parasol, but someone told me it's faster to do it with parasol, and it is. Also, this boss you can do quickly with stone, but I am completely incapable of doing that, so I just switch back to hammer. I'm really lazy like that. And because going around is slow, we just kill ourselves here.
End of run.
GG.
Reset.
And then we go back to the start of the room. It's actually, if you're full health at the start of the room, it is equal with going around, so it's just easier to kill yourself. Just takes less effort, really. So this is a little maze. Of course I know exactly where to go. Famous last words. Hello. And now we fight against Fatty Will again. Hello, Fatty Will. This time he has a little bit more health than the one in Great Cape Offensive. But Hammer makes mincemeat of him. So the next planet is the one you're supposed to do first, and we do it second to last. And it has a really nice and cool mechanic. So we start out in spring, but by going through these doors we can change the season. And by doing so we can open certain doors. For instance this one, so we can grab this coffee ability. Three. Go. Oops, I messed up a little. And here we have Twin Woods again. We actually go for the left one first, so that the right one will do puffs. Otherwise, for some reason, it'll just drop enemies on top of us, and that can mess you up if you get unlucky. I also switched to Jet a little early here, because in the next planet it's nice to start out with Jet. That was interesting movement. So Half Moon is a little technical. Wow. Why did I can just tap the touchscreen. I'm so used to chasing after stars that you sometimes forget that you can just tap the touchscreen and you get your ability back. So here we get what for many people is the best ability in this game, Mirror. It's a pretty cute one. Switch back to Hammer. So we're finally gonna go into a minecart. That was way too early on that jump. Good shit. And again, for this fight, okay, that's amazing. For this fight, we throw our hammer a bunch. So that deals a lot of damage. I'm gonna switch back to Jet for this section. You would say that maybe Wing would be faster here because there's a lot of vertical movement, but switching into Wing takes a long time. And it doesn't with Jet, so... And we have all the abilities in this game mode now. So that's nice, we can finish this part. But not before we get another RNG boss. Yay! So this is what I meant with them attacking first. It loses about 5 seconds when they do that. See if I can get this one cycle. I cannot get this one cycle. If I stood a little closer, I would get hit by the Evil Knight, and that would give me invisibility frames to throw my hammer inside of him and one cycle him, but I messed it up, so it's kind of sour. And I'm getting some really shitty RNG here. Yay, second slowest attack. Woo. So whenever you kill one of the RPG bosses, it goes through a lot of stats that you supposedly gain. They're usually pretty cute, like roundness, cuteness, ice sparkle. But of course, stats don't matter in this game. So now we've collected all the power of the stars, and we can go ask Nova to make the sun and the moon stop fighting. Sadly, however, Marx reveals his evil plan and wishes for Nova to make him so powerful that he will rule Popstar, which is the planet that Dreamland is on. And right after he does that, Galactic Nova goes and starts on a crash course into Popstar, and we're gonna try and stop Galactic Nova from destroying our lovely planet. And it has to be done in a shoot 'em up, because this is a Kirby game, and Kirby games need shoot 'em ups. I'm currently just holding the button. It's pretty chill here. You can, however, if you really want to go fast, you can also mash the button and deal a lot of damage in one go. So in the nucleus, you want to kill the first 4 and then leave 2 alive. And then kill 1 and the other. That way you can use the fact that you go backwards. Otherwise you would have to go around in the entire cycle, and that loses about 15 seconds. It's pretty slow. So now we get the fight against Marx. If we're lucky, we can get a quick kill on him, and that saves about 10 seconds, but Marx is a bit of a troll. And I messed up a little as well. Ah, I messed that up. I could have saved that, but that was actually good RNG, but I completely messed up. At least we got a swag kill on him. And that is Milky Way Wishes. So now the rest of the game modes start unlocking. And we start off with the arena, which is a boss rush minigame. So of course we're grabbing Hammer, because Hammer is overpowered. And we just start smacking face with it. This is also one of my favorite strats. And gone is Bandanity. He will never be forgotten. So yeah, most of this is just me wrecking bosses with hammer flips. It's not very interesting, if you ask me. So for Krakow you can actually time a hammer flip to hit him once. The timing is a little precise. I would give it like 5 frames or so. It's not too difficult to get. Ah, damn. If you get lucky on this one, you can get a 1 cycle, but of course I did not. Did get a decent RNG for a 2 cycle. And of course, here's the RPG boss again. We fight this boss in a total of 6 times in the run. And you can lose, if you're really unlucky, upwards to 2 minutes in total to this boss. So, it is quite the pain in the ass for grinding runs. Because it kind of just sneaks up on you as well. Again, more wrecking with hammer flips. Boom! And boom! Oops. So for DDD we do 1 little damage boost where he jumps into us to skip the animation, and then we kill him quickly. Hey, he's yellow again. Ah. The problem with doing damage boost strats is that if you get unlucky, you will have to chase your ability again. I'm actually gonna grab a little bit of health because there are more damage boost strats coming up. And it's useful to be at least somewhat healthy for those. Like I said, I take a lot of damage throughout the arena. And this is also a pretty big damage boost strat. I actually really like doing it. And of course I got unlucky. Yay! There we go. So I'm gonna grab more health. This will be the last health I grab, hopefully. It's just for safety. That was a good heavy lobster. Let's see if we get lucky. We get unlucky. So this is the bad pattern that Fatty Will can take. It's a little annoying. And I messed it up. Wow, RNG is not happy with me right now. I'm losing my ability way more often than I should. So where the laser goes on the screen is completely random, and sometimes you can take certain positions where it'll literally be unable to hit the diamond in the middle. It's kind of annoying to deal with sometimes. So for Dynablade we go all the way to the top, and I hope he spawns to the right, which he does. And we just hammer him down like that. Okay, let's see if we can get the 2 cycle again. It's always a little tight. Ah, I messed it up. I didn't get it through the damage boost either. Explosions. So again, Meta Knight wants to have a sword duel, but again, it is he who brings the sword into a hammer fight. And I just damage boost a little to deal more damage to him quickly. He was nice and stationary, so I took it. So the order of the bosses in the arena is always random, except for Marks. Marks is always the last boss. So we get to fight him again. Hopefully I won't mess up the quick kill this time. Of course I need to get a little lucky on the RNG. And I didn't. Marks is one hell of a troll. I tend to not go for the swag kill when I'm doing the arena, just for safety. So the arena doesn't have a cutscene at the end. We're gonna go straight into Revenge of Meta Knight. Now the way I need to look at Revenge of Meta Knight is basically Spring Breeze on steroids. There are a lot more enemies, and a lot of the mid-bosses are just really annoying to deal with. We start out with Cutter because there's really not that much else to use. There is actually a jet mix right here, but it is ridiculously hard to do, and I only go for it in IL runs. It saves about 10 seconds if you do it, but it's not worth it in 100% runs because you lose a lot of time for failing it. So this is one of the most annoying mid-bosses in this entire game. It's called Fan Fan. Ow. And this is why Fan Fan is annoying. He just throws you around whenever you touch him. Damn. Oh, come on. That was bad. So we've had enough of Cutter for now. We're gonna grab Ninja here, and Ninja grabs us first, however. I love you too, Ninja, but I would rather have you in my belly. And we fight against Wispy Wood's Revenge. He's purple now. And he throws poison apples. And of course I lose Ninja. Why would I not keep Ninja? RNG really has it with me. Damn. There's a one-frame trick you can do there to grab the star and do the down thing to quickly get to the middle, but it's a little hard to get since it's a one-frame trick. Now, if I'm fast enough with this movement, I can do something pretty cool. And I messed up. Too bad. That's all we really need from Ninja for now. You know, it's been a while since I've seen a certain ability. It's a really nice ability. Ah, there it is, Jet. I love Jet. That was the easiest mix in the game, by the way. You just literally mash the A button because it's the first one on the reel. I have failed it 6 times in a row in the past, so do not underestimate the easiest mix in the game. It was quite embarrassing, and I did not want to hold the direction there. Yeah, it's an amazing highlight. It is, yeah. I'm not proud of it at all. Why did I do that? I'm messing up my movement a little bit. There we go. So now we fight against Lolo and Lala's Revenge. This time we don't have like Crash or whatever, but we do have Jet, and with Jet we can do something really cool. We can grab their boxes. You can actually one-hit kill them by grabbing one of the boxes if you time it correctly, but I messed that up. And they're not giving me good RNG either, so it's hard to do it properly. Oh my god, worst RNG. Ah. Okay, I'm an idiot. That was really bad. No, what am I doing? I keep missing. Oh my god. That was quite embarrassing. So, people who have played Kirby's Dream Land, the original Game Boy game, by the way, if you do pay a little bit of attention, you might notice that some of the level design in this game mode are an homage to it. And with homage, I mean carbon copies. This one not really in particular, but this screen, for instance, should be a little bit familiar. Which is pretty cool. And here we have Cracker Jr.'s Revenge. It's a little bit faster than previous time. Ah, damn. Wow, that is pretty unlucky. What am I? There we go. Damn. So that's what I meant with that you can just randomly bonk against blocks that are breakable. It's very annoying. It does happen a lot. So here we have to pray to RNG because there's these plasma wisps randomly spawning, but we got lucky on those. And then we fight against Krakow. Ah, I messed it up a little. There we go. So because we haven't had enough shoot-em-ups yet, we're gonna get another one against Kabula. She is very nice. And yes, it's a she. I'm not making that up. Again, just mashing a lot. I actually position in a certain way that, for some reason, I get a lot of double hits on her, so it just deals double damage, which makes the fight a lot faster. So now it's time for DDD to enact his revenge on us. He will first test us by throwing enemies at us that we mostly ignore. Except for the mid-bosses, of course. Yeah. So the thing that Bandana D says here is he had an easy time against a boss that is a clock. This game likes its puns. Ooh, I messed it up already. Yeah, I messed up strats completely. Whatever. Can always improvise. So this is another incarnation of Fan Fan, and this one is hypercharged. It's really fast and really annoying to deal with. I have lost runs to this Fan Fan, but we got lucky. Well, not really lucky, but we can deal with it. This is Twin Fire Line. I damage both a little bit at the same time in the hope that I get good RNG and one of them jumps. So I can do this. If they were a little closer together, I would attempt to mix for a candy, but they were too far apart. Ah, damn. I spaced out incorrectly there. If you space out correctly, you can just go through those 2 blocks. And here we will suck up Bandanity again. Goodbye, Bandanity. But for some reason, you can see Bandanity in the background right there. He is immortal. He is the true hero of this game, to be honest. I'm getting some really good RNG, actually. If I did one more damage boost, I might have been able to quick kill DDD here. If you hit him, sometimes he gives you an audio glitch, where instead of raw, he says disco. It's pretty funny, but I can never get it during marathons. Yes. So now we're going to what I think, in my opinion, is the worst game mode in this game. It is Helper to Hero. You saw that giant roster of helpers. To complete this game at max %, you have to defeat this little arena with every single helper. And that takes about 3.5 to 4 hours to do, if you do it optimally. Luckily, however, the game designers realized that that is a horrible definition for 100%, so we only have to complete this little arena once. And of course we're doing that with Hammer. Wow, and I somehow messed that up. And it'll take us about 5 minutes to do. Some abilities are just really slow to go through arenas with. Bandana Blade is pretty easy with Bonkers. The thing is about Bonkers is that a lot of his hitboxes have slightly different properties than the hitboxes of normal Hammer. For instance, his Hammer Flip remains on the field a lot longer, and his Hammer spins have like a wider range. Yet at the same time, his actual hurt box is still the size of Kirby's, which causes some really weird things from time to time. Like standing half inside of a boss without taking any damage. We got lucky, we didn't get the same thing at ESA. The ESA actually died here, and that was pretty embarrassing. I usually don't go for a Hammer Flip there, I don't know why I did this time. And of course, Arena would not be complete without an RNG boss. Yay! More RNG! This is number 4. Yeah, this is number 4. So we have 2 more to go. And then we're finally rid of this horrible boss. Please. I am screwed. Yeah. If he shields even once, he will remain alive with 1 HP, and there's nothing I can do about that. It is very frustrating. RNG has not been on my side this run. Like I said. So usually you lose 5 seconds for every cycle. With that attack you lose about 7 seconds. So it's kind of annoying. So for Meta Knight, luckily we don't have to grab a sword. We can just kill him with hammer, which makes life easy. I'm actually gonna grab some health. It has happened in the past that I went kind of YOLO into this last boss fight and died for no reason because I should never even take damage during this boss. So first we get Wham Bam. Again, I'm using the hammer flip properties to quickly get an easy... Ouch. To get an easy 2-cycle. Now we have Wham Bam Jewel. Now Wham Bam Jewel has... his attacks hurt a lot more, a bit more devious, and he has more health. But he's pretty easy to deal with. More explosions! And from the worst game mode, we're gonna go to the best game mode. This is Meta Nightmare Ultra. Oops. This is good to hear. So Meta Nightmare Ultra is where we go through the first 5 game modes, excluding Gourmet Race, as Meta Knight. And Meta Knight has an expanded set of the sword ability, together with a flapping mechanic. Also, whenever he kills enemies, he will gain points. Those are the little blue balls you see flying towards him. And with points you can use abilities on the touchscreen. So for instance, right now I've activated Meta Quick, which, as the name suggests, makes us go fast. But only in the horizontal speed, not in the vertical speed, because that would completely break the game. The thing about Meta Nightmare Ultra is that we constantly have to make sure that we have enough points. So the point route is pretty tight during in-game timed runs. During RTA runs, however, we don't use certain abilities quite as often. And the ability I'm talking about is this one. This is for 30 points, Mach Tornado. It deals 190 damage to everything on screen. Basically kills everything. And we use it a lot more in in-game timed runs, because when you use it, it pauses the in-game timer, which it doesn't in RTA, obviously. So we don't always use Tornado in RTA runs. Another thing about in-game timed is that whenever there's a loading screen, the in-game timer will stop. So that is great, because that means you can also run this on emulator. It's not very... I don't really suggest doing that, however, because it's horrible to select your abilities with a mouse rather than a touchscreen. And we got quick RNG there, that's nice. So for instance, during this fight, we would usually use Tornado, but since this is RTA, it's faster to not use Tornado and just kill them like this. And that's a decent Spring Breeze time. So two of the other abilities that I haven't talked about yet is in the top right you'll see the ability called Heal, which costs 10 points. It heals you to full, and it is very dishonorable of me if I would ever use that during this run. I am a proud Meta Nightmare Ultra runner, so if I use it, I will not be very happy. And the other one is Nightcall for 2 points. It is basically your helper, but it's pretty useless, except for one glitch that I will show off in a little bit, if I can manage it. It's a little bit, takes a little bit of dexterity to do. So this game mode is just made for speed, which is a lot of fun to do as a speedrun. So here we're gonna try the glitch, and I've messed it up. It's kind of hard to do. I can quickly show it off maybe during this auto-scroller. Whee! So what that did is, I did a dash attack, and I cancelled that dash attack with the Nightfall on the touchscreen, and by doing that, the game stores your current speed and sets your current, how do you call that, current state to normal. So any speed that you add later will be added to the previous speed. So you can suddenly jump really far, because you gain a lot of speed. And we call that a mega jump, because we're awesome at naming things. So this is another boss where we would usually use a tornado, but this is RTA, so we don't. As you can see, I'm using the dash attack a lot. It deals a lot of damage, and it's just really fast to use, so gives you invincibility frames as well. Whoops. There we go. Most of this movement is just kind of tight. It's not much to really explain anymore. So against Bugsy, we usually try to get a certain RNG, which is this one, to kill him like that. Oh wow. That was pretty bad. I'm gonna grab this health for safety. It's always useful to have a little bit of health on you. Here we have the mid-boss rush again. Ah! So on this specific bunkers, we would use Mech Tornado again, but we like to save time in RTA. We got perfect RNG in it there. That was really nice. So this is a boss that you haven't seen in the normal Dynablade because we kind of skip it. So a cool thing about Mech Tornado is that whenever you use it, the animation actually takes less time the higher you are. So you try to be as high as possible before using it. And we got good RNG on Dynablade as well, which is nice. Wow, that was not very good. And then we're gonna go blaze through Great Cave Offensive. So you just saw me slog through this bit as Kirby for 20 minutes. And we're gonna destroy this in like 4. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. So against this boss we'll be using Mech Tornado because he is off screen most of the time. I'll just quickly kill him.
Unfortunately, Twitch has stopped. Why am I not surprised?
Of course we skip the cart because Meta Knight is too cool for carts. Nice, got that little jump. And then I do that. And I promised 2 more RNG bosses. Well, here's another one. Hello, computer virus. I have not missed you. Let's see if we get good RNG. Damn. This quick kill is a little tight. I need to be in the right position. There we go. That was really nice. It's actually like, if I mess up a little bit, I will instantly feel that. So it's like a 4 pixel margin. Now, as Kirby would have to go through the entirety of Tower and collect all the treasures and stuff like that. Here we are literally unable to even enter the tower, so we just skip the entirety of it, which is nice. Kind of contributes to doing it in less than 4 minutes. You can go ahead with a donation.
And we have one because Jasper, our guy at Tech, just donated 12 euros saying, said I'd donate for every deafening glare. So I did. Rip my wallet and end the run, but go BSG and Dutch Cancer Society. Thank you so much for your donation and sticking to your word.
Nice. So now we're done with the Great Cave Offensive here. And now we're gonna do something really weird. So we're gonna destroy our own ship for some reason. We don't really actually know why. The way I basically just see it is that because his henchmen were unable to kill Kirby, Meta Knight is really pissed at them, so he goes on a killing rampage against his own crew. That's my theory, at least. So we actually, as Meta Knight, have to kill this Heavy Lobster. As Kirby, we could just skip it. We got a little bit of bad execution there. Now, of course, this game mode is known for one very specific thing, and we have to go through all of it all over again, so I hope you enjoy it. Here's another auto-scroller. Yay. We love auto-scrollers. Oops. Okay, we're not losing time on the auto-scroller. I'm happy. That was a little bit sketchy. So up until recently, on the next Twin Woods, even in RTA, I would use Mech Tornado, but I kind of realized that doing these dash attacks is actually faster. Unless I get hit like that. That was a little bit sloppy in the end. Okay, so if I die here, I will donate $10. Or 10 euros, I mean. I'm gonna die with honor. I'm not gonna heal. And I died. Well, that's $10, 10 euros. I kind of forgot that I do a damage boost there, and I did it without thinking. Oops. I thought I had enough health for that. Which is a little bit bad, because I was supposed to use a Mech Tornado here, but whenever you die, you lose all your points. So this is a little nice section. In this game, there's 2 jump buttons. So if you just alternate mash them, you can go up really quickly, because the speed of you going up is determined by the speed of you mashing the jump button. So by double mashing with 2 buttons, it goes really quickly. That wasn't very good. So here I swerve to the right to get one of the elevators to go down earlier. It saves about 2 seconds in waiting. It's pretty nice. So again, the higher you are, the shorter this animation. You might have also noticed that when I started this Mech Tornado, I went all the way to the left. The point of origin of the damage of Mech Tornado isn't the center of the Mech Tornado, but it is the last position of Meta Knight before you use the Mech Tornado. And here we can just quickly kill main cannon number 2 like that. Oops. There we go. Again, a little auto-scroller. I'm gonna destroy all the blocks again, but it's a lot easier with Meta Knight than with Kirby. This Meta Knight is actually cool. We don't use a tornado on Heavy Lobster. It's just simply faster to kill him with normal slashes. So in the end, a Mech Tornado takes about 10 seconds to complete, and that is a pretty long time. There we go. So, usually with Kirby you have to do all weird kind of dance with a laser to kill this boss. Luckily Meta Knight can just use Mech Tornado to instantly one-hit the boss. And that is the end of Revenge of Meta Knight in this game mode, which is nice. We don't have to fight ourselves. That would make for a very weird fight. In the first incarnation of Meta Nightmare for Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland, it was actually that you had to fight yourself, and I've seen like people do runs of that and it's very disorienting. Like, which Meta Knight is which Meta Knight is very weird to watch. So this time in Milky Way Wishes we are actually forced to take the intended route through the entire thing. Oops, that was not very good. That was actually a little early on the Metaquick, but it's fine. So here I want to have at least 20 points, and I do, so I don't have to get extra points. Which is nice. Don't use Metaquick. Good job, Kinnin. So here we fight against Fetty Will again. This time he has a little bit more health, and we got good RNG, so if we got bad RNG, we have to do like a very weird strat, and I'm honestly really horrible at that strat, so I tend to mess it up and not be able to kill him in one cycle.
Dan moet ik zijn microfoon, dat is dus de meest rechter, die moet ik dan aanzetten.
En dat zie je ook zelf wel.
So we have Hot Beat again. It's a little bit more annoying with Meta Knight than with Kirby, but we can manage. Now we have the Mega Jump in action. It's a pretty cool glitch. It's one of the 3 glitches I think this game has. It's not very... Okay, that's annoying. Because the helper was in a cannon, I couldn't use Meta Quick. It's actually a little quirk that the game has, and it's pretty annoying when it happens. Okay, whoops. Well, that worked out fine, I guess. There we go. So in KBS here, during Meta Nightmare Ultra, I like to call this the restocking up point, where you get a lot of points and a lot of health back, and I should use Meta Quick here. Because there are a lot of mid-bosses, and almost every mid-boss gives you a little bit of health. Because in this game mode, a lot of things that are not health for Kirby are converted in like little health things. I have more than enough points, so I don't need to destroy Bugsy for his points. So that's pretty nice. Hey, 420 on the in-game timer. Blaze it! Oh, I'm sorry. So for the longest of time we thought that we had to go through the cannons here, but someone pointed out that you can just destroy those blocks. It's pretty simple. You might have also noticed that I jumped in midair. That's a little glitch called the drop double jump. Whenever you run off a ledge and perform certain actions, the game somehow thinks that you have a jump in midair. It's not a very useful glitch, but we use it 5 times or so. It's pretty cool. Whoops. So against Heavy Lobster, you basically never want to stand in front of him if you can help it, so you don't have to deal with his attacks. So here we're gonna do another DDJ, simply to give myself some more room to use Meta Quick. It doesn't save any time, it just gives me space. Oh damn. Ah, get in there. Oh wow, we're gonna get a sub 6 star grab. That is pretty amazing. That is about as fast as you can get on Milky Way Wishes, so we're doing really well. That's pretty cool. Okay, that worked out. So here I'm trying to get enough points so I can do some cool stuff. We have more than enough, so that's pretty nice. 31 is the amount of points I'm looking for right now, and I have 32, so... So this is the final RNG boss of the game. Or at least RPG boss of the game. I'm gonna see if we can get some good RNG. And of course, the moment I say that. Please don't shield. He shielded. That's 2 extra cycles. I just lost 10 seconds. That is pretty epic. And I lost frames because I got hit. Okay. That's not gonna deal enough damage. So it's important to use a Mech Tornado on these bosses when they're down on the ground. If they're not down on the ground, you know, like for any single frame, it's just, you don't get any damage on it. So coming up next is the final boss of Meta Nightmare Ultra. And then we have one more game mode left, and we're done. And this is a pretty cool boss, to be honest. You can already hear that from the music. This is Galactonite. He is so dangerous that he had to be sealed away. But we have summoned him from the distant stars to fight him, and to prove that we are the strongest warrior in the galaxy. And I'm kind of messing up. And I'm getting horrible RNG. These are the worst ones to get, but that was actually really well dealt with. So the reason I wanted 31 points is so I could have a tornado here. The only reason I wanted tornado here is to skip him from going upwards. Well, this is basically skip him from getting an RNG moment where he could summon more minions. And I don't want to deal with that. And this is the only cutscene in the entire game I am completely unable to skip. So I'm gonna stretch a little bit because I've been looking at the screen the whole time. Ah, nice. Takes about 15 seconds. Yeah, it takes that long. Sadly, it's the price of speedrunning this game. Let's see what the final in-game time is. If it's not sub 26, I'm usually not very happy. It's 25:56, so I'm happy with that. There's a sub 26, if I ever saw one. I would have not been happy, no. So this is the final game mode of the game. This is the true arena, where we fight against all the newer bosses, and in the normal arena, we got, in between every boss, we got maximum tomatoes to work with. Now we only get small tomatoes to work with, so you basically have 2 health bars to finish this game mode, so getting hit is not a good thing usually. As you can see, only small tomatoes. So the first 6 bosses are completely random, and then the final 4 aren't. There are the same 4 bosses in the same order every time. I'm getting some hell RNG again. So in Kabula I still take a lot of damage because it's faster. I tend not to take a lot of damage on the other bosses, so I can tank all this damage quite easily. There we go. So during the mid-boss all-stars, the mid-bosses have a lot more health than usual. So you have to like do a lot more. You usually have to do 2 hammer flips and sometimes a little extra. And that was bad. Oh no. Fan can be the biggest troll as usual. It's my least favorite mid-boss to deal with. This is also one of my least favorite bosses in this specific game modes, because I'm really bad at it. But that was a pretty decent one. Free cycle is pretty good with hammer. So now we're gonna go to the final 4. The first one is Mass DDD. And I'm getting horrible RNG. There's actually an RNG pattern where you can quick kill him before he does this attack, but it is pretty rare and I don't get it often. I actually got it in practice earlier, which is really annoying. Next we have Wham Bam Jewel, which again is a little bit of a pushover, to be honest. And that was way early. That is bad. Oh my. Of course I doom myself when I say he's a bit of a pushover. Explosions. Now we're gonna grab all the tomatoes, and this is all the health we'll have left for the final 2. So we fight against Galactonite as Kirby. As Kirby, Galactonite is actually a lot easier because Hammer just deals so much damage. And he can quite easily deal with his minions. There we go. A lot faster than with Meta Knight. Now the final boss of the game is Mark's Soul. So when we destroyed Mark's, apparently somehow he absorbed the power of Galactic Nova and they've become one. And now he's a lot more powerful. And a giant troll. So wherever he spawns on the screen is completely random. I want to like have him in about this range actually. This is a really good spawn. And that is slightly too high. Nice! So I actually skipped a cycle where he goes off screen for like 20 seconds. That is really nice. That was a good Mark Soul. Okay, get ready on time. We got a nice little screen. Oh my god, I'm only barely getting underestimate. And time. Yeah, but that was one train wreck of a run. I made so many mistakes. Oh well, it's still literally better than anyone has ever done. Except for myself. So yeah, that was Kirby Superstar Ultra. And actually you have no clue what's up next. But it's the last